The day my boss looked at me with tired eyes and asked me to pretend to be his wife for 1 year was the day my carefully controlled life cracked open, because nothing prepares you for a request that sounds like a lie but feels like destiny pressing its thumb against your chest. I was a struggling assistant drowning in bills and quiet loneliness, and he was a single father carrying grief like an invisible wound, and the question that escaped my mouth before fear could stop it, whether we would have to share a bed, would end up changing both our lives in ways neither of us could imagine. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet miracles that happen when broken people choose to show up for each other, please like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because stories like this travel farther when hearts connect across the world. My name is Emily Carter, and I had mastered the art of being invisible. I worked late, spoke softly, and folded myself smaller so the world wouldn't notice how close I was to falling apart. After my mother passed, debts stacked up like unsent letters, and every night I lay awake counting worries instead of sheep. My boss, Daniel Wright, owned the company where I worked, a man known for discipline and distance, the kind of authority that made hallways fall silent when he passed. But beneath that steel exterior lived a father to a little boy named Noah, a child with solemn eyes too old for his age, a child who had learned early that goodbyes can be permanent. Daniel's wife had died 3 years earlier, and the house he lived in felt less like a home and more like a museum of memories he refused to dust. The request came after a meeting with his family's trust board threatened to strip him of guardianship unless he presented a stable family environment for Noah. Appearances mattered to people who measured love in contracts and dinners with polite smiles. Daniel didn't ask out of manipulation, he asked out of desperation. He promised boundaries, protection, and compensation that could pull me out of my financial spiral. I said yes not because I wanted the money, but because when I looked at Noah's small shoes by the office door and Daniel's hands trembling despite his calm voice, something human and reckless inside me decided that pretending might be better than watching a family fall apart. We moved into the same house under rules written like a treaty. Separate rooms. No affection in private. Public appearances only. The bed question lingered like an echo in my mind, but Daniel respected the distance, and the house breathed easier because of it. Days unfolded in careful choreography. I learned how to pack lunches that Noah would actually eat and how to sit with him during thunderstorms when the sky sounded like it was breaking. Daniel watched from doorways at first, wary and grateful, a man learning to trust again by inches. The walls held secrets, especially the master bedroom that remained locked most nights, a space frozen in time with a grief Daniel hadn't dared to confront. The challenge wasn't the pretending, it was the becoming. I became the woman who remembered parent-teacher meetings and the one who stood beside Daniel at formal dinners, smiling through the scrutiny. He became the man who noticed when I skipped meals and left notes by my coffee mug reminding me to breathe. Somewhere between rehearsed smiles and quiet dinners, the house warmed. Laughter returned in small bursts, and Noah's nightmares grew less frequent. But the past has a way of knocking when you least expect it. The trust board intensified their inspections, rumors at work grew sharper, and my own heart began to betray me, responding to Daniel's steadiness, his patience, the way he listened without trying to fix me. The turning point came on a winter night when Noah fell ill, and fear stripped away pretense. I stayed up counting breaths, and Daniel collapsed into a chair across from me, confessing his terror of losing his son the way he lost his wife. In that fragile space, something shifted. Comfort replaced contracts. Care replaced caution. The bed question returned, not as a rule but as a possibility, heavy with consequences. We didn't cross lines out of impulse, we crossed them because grief finally loosened its grip, and hope asked to be let in. As months passed, the lie grew thinner and the truth grew louder. The trust board noticed not perfection but authenticity. Noah noticed safety. I noticed that I no longer felt invisible. When the year drew to a close, the question wasn't whether we had fooled anyone, but whether we could bear to stop. Daniel faced the locked bedroom and opened it, not to erase the past but to honor it and move forward. We chose honesty with the world and with ourselves, risking everything for something real. If this story is touching your heart right now, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes love can grow in unexpected places, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive and reaching those who need them most. Before the ending, I want to ask you from the heart to comment below and tell us what part of this journey moved you the most, because your words matter more than you know. In the end, we didn't pretend anymore. We built a family from broken pieces, learning that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is say yes to a chance you never planned for. And when I look at Daniel and Noah now, I understand that love doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it slips in quietly, asks for a year, and stays for a lifetime.